Guys, it's me, Gunky, and welcome back to another episode of Ooh Gross. So, I hopefully fixed some of my internet issues. We're going to get some recordings done today, hopefully. I really want to showcase this team for you guys, and obviously it's been pretty annoying from my end trying to deal with this, and hopefully this worked. So, today we're going to be featuring a new team, a Trick Room team, featuring some pretty interesting Pokemon. So, one of the coolest things about Empoleon that I noticed is that it can really deal with a lot of Intimidators on this team better than even on the previous team, because I switched out its Earthquake for Rock Slide, and now Rock Slide can deal with Salamence and Gyarados, of course, which not necessarily too problematic for my team in general, a little bit more with the Camera Up team, the Gyarados, but it also covers Charizard Y, so I have a really good lead in Empoleon, and oftentimes Charizard Y is paired with an Intimidator alongside it, so it really does well. But I've got my Trick Room user is Mimikyu, and it's got a Mimikyu Snorlax combo, which Aaron Cybertron Zhang featured on his channel recently, so I really recommend that you check out his content. He makes great videos and always plays with fun teams, and the Choice Banded Snorlax is almost identical to his. And I'm running Wild Charge over, I think he had high horsepower, because I needed some electric type coverage for things like Celesteela and Tapu Fini if my Snorlax is around, and my Amoonguss is also an attack variant running both Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain for going Rage Powder. And I do have a Follow Me on my Togekiss, so I didn't think I needed Rage Powder as much. So we'll see how this team works out. I've been playing a lot on Showdown, and it's been doing great. So great, we already have a battle here coming in. Let's see what my opponent's team is. Ooh, interesting that we were talking just about that. But we've got a Charizard, a Tapu Lele, Gallade, a Milotic, Landorus, and Zapdos. So my Empoleon is weak to a Zapdos lead, relatively weak. It can take a Thunderbolt. But if it's like a Landorus Zapdos lead and my opponent doubles into it, and in fact, do I think my opponent will do that? I'm going to lead Mimikyu and Empoleon. I can put pressure on his Landorus if it brings out Mimikyu, can take out the Tapu Lele if it does come out, and I can survive, hopefully, the attack. And then I'll bring both Camerupt and Snorlax in the back, I think. Yeah. Alright, well, good luck to my opponent, and good luck to you guys if you're going to try any of these Pokemon out on your own. I want you to let me know how your weekend was. I know I've been pretty busy here trying to get my internet situation sorted out, and, you know, unfortunately this video won't be coming out on time. So, let's see what my opponent goes with here. Landorus, Tapu Lele, perfect. Now, the only issue I really have here is whether or not this Lele Scarf, and what should I do about the Landorus. Now, it's my opinion that he does intimidate me, which I'm not sure if an intimidated Mimikyu can one-shot the Lele. I think what I do here is I just Liquidation into Landorus, and I Ghost DMZ the Tapu Lele. Now, my Tapu Lele could protect here. It uses knockoff. That's fine. It's a Choice Scarf variant on that Landorus, too, since it outsped me here. Which means that my Liquidation do like 80%, I think. Now, this is -1, so I'm not sure if it knocks out. If it doesn't knock out, I'm going to be in a big trouble here. Simply because I'm not going to have Trick Room up, and both of my Pokemon kind of need it here. But it clearly went in for the double, so let's see. If this Lele dies, and I do get the knockout, that's really good. And Liquidation is going to come out here, and let's see how much I can do to this Landorus. I think it might knock it out. It does, okay. So, pretty rough start for my opponent. Yeah, I think the +1 Empoleon always knocks out Landorus unless it's bulky. Milotic, and what else? Charizard. Okay. So I think what I do here, Do I think it is a Charizard X? Is a real question. I think I go for the Rock Slide here, expecting a Charizard Y, and try to get Trick Room up. I don't know if I'll get Trick Room up here. It is Charizard Y, so good that I called that correctly. Maybe I should have protected the Empoleon. I don't think it's going to double into the slot, so... Rock Slide obviously ignores Drought. And it does go for a Flamethrower into my Empoleon, so it is worried about it, but that's not going to do that much. If it doubles up, no, and it's going to Mimikyu, which that should definitely not knock it out since it set up the Sun. So my opponent not correctly analyzing, and I get both hits here. This should feint the Charizard. Oh, barely hangs on here. And I do get Trick Room up. So, you know, my opponent is not looking like he's in a good position here. I think I just go... If I miss the Rock Slide, is that like how I lose? I don't think so. If my Empoleon faints, I'm good. So I should still go for the Rock Slide, and then I should switch out into my Snorlax here. Mimikyu's at -1, and staying in with it is not that good, and if I do need to set up Trick Room again, it puts me in a decent position. Yeah, Charizard does protect here. We'll see if I can get a flinch onto the Empoleon, or rather the Milotic. Regardless, yeah, Scald does go off into my Snorlax. That could be bad if it gets the burn. It does burn me. Unfortunate. But I don't think it matters that much. So I'm just going to Rock Slide again and Wild Charge into the Milotic here. There's no... Charizard does go for the double protect, but it fails. My Wild Charge comes out here. This isn't going to do too much. Yeah, there's a Berry proc here. No Berry, so I think this just knocks out both my opponent's Pokemon here. It does, so good game to my opponent. The turn 1 was pretty rough for it, and that's what this team really can do. It puts a lot of pressure on the opponent very early. And I'm really glad that I have that Rock Slide. So, already seeing the work that this team can do against the meta. So hopefully, as long as my internet's still cooperating with me here, I'm going to try to get a couple videos up today, recorded today, and then if it lets me upload, this one might come out late tonight. It's Monday when I'm recording this, and then the second one will be up in time for Tuesday. Let's pick Gladion for this one. Yeah, the Empoleon just surprising my opponents, that's for sure. Part of me wants to run Assault Vest on it because a lot of times I am bringing the Mimikyu alongside of it, and its Water MZ ends up not mattering that much, and I could forego the Protect, but I think it's better to carry on like it as it is, just because I can pick up the one-shots on the Incineroars, and although Incineroar doesn't pose too big of a threat to my team, it's nice to out-tempo my opponent like that, and having Empoleon stay around is really my biggest concern with the Water MZ. It does good damage, also neutral hits to things like Tapu Lele. It does like 70 to 80%, and things like Trick Room users, for example, Oranguru or things like this, like I can hit it pretty hard, which puts a lot of pressure on. Unfortunately, there are sets where I don't bring it, and that's good that I have the double Z move. We got a match here from, I'm not sure how they pronounce that, Garuzia or something from Italy, running a team up Tapu Fini, Snorlax, Salamence, Incineroar, Pheromosa, and Audino. Interesting, I haven't seen Audino. I wonder if it's a double mega team with Salamence and Audino. And they know what they want already. Well, definitely bringing Empoleon here is very good against my opponent's team. With the spread move of the Salamence, I'm not so sure, because the Incineroar can go for Fake Out here, but I still think I want it. I still think I want the Mimikyu here. And then the question is, Do I think the Spore is more valuable, especially because he does have the Snorlax that he's probably bringing against my Trick Room team? I think I'm going to bring Snorlax. He has pretty frail Pokemon besides the Snorlax and the Albino. Everyone else I can kill pretty simply, and if it does bring the Incineroar Salamence here, I don't even need to use my Z move on my Empoleon to pick up a knockout on the Incineroar. In fact, if it leads that, I'll just Rock Slide. Snorlax Salamence, okay. I'm fine with that. So it does answer my Trick Room, in a sense. But it doesn't have access to Fake out here. So I think I can Rock Slide and... It's probably setting up Belly Drum here, so if I get a flinch, that'd be really nice. Does Salamence protect or not? That's the issue. I think I just play rough into the Salamence slot, and if it protects, that's fine, and I just hope for the flinch on Snorlax. So it is Mega Evolving, which likely means it's not protecting here. And it uses Return on my Mimikyu here. Breaks my Disguise, which I'll be surprised. Obviously, it would prefer that I set up Trick Room here, but I do get to play rough into the Salamence. And plus Rock Slide at +1 if I connect. Snorlax avoids. That's really bad. It's definitely going to get its Belly Drum up here. Doesn't knock out the Salamence either. Yeah, it does get its Belly Drum off. Wow. Well, that's too bad. It's going to be kind of tough for me to deal with that. So... I think my play is still just a Rock Slide here. Hope for the flinch. And... Yeah, it's in an awkward position against this Snorlax. I guess I don't really have that good of an answer to it. And just go for the play rough onto Snorlax, I suppose. Salamence does use Protect here. So I need a flinch here, crucially. And then maybe... Oh, it's so bulky. Oh, I did get the flinch. That's really nice. So, I think I have to Liquidation here into the Snorlax slot and play rough the Salamence. This is going to be a tough game. Oh, it has Earthquake here. I should live that with my Empoleon. Yeah. I do get the play rough, finding the Salamence here. And let's see if my Water MZ can pick up a knockout. I don't think it will, but it'll put it low, and I can bring in... Thing is, I have slow Pokemon in the back. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for the Belly Drum Snorlax. Unless this does somehow manage to knock out. It does. Ooh, very good. Wow, Empoleon putting in the work. That's so crucial. My game was basically over if I didn't have that. I probably would have lost. I have min speed Snorlax and probably would have lost there. So the Z move coming in clutch, just as we were talking about it. How maybe I don't want to change it. Earning more respect. So we got a Tapu Fini here. And Incineroar, which is going to give me Defiant Boost. So this puts my opponent in an interesting situation. Misty Surge comes out. Now, my opponent's going to Fake Out. I guess it has to decide what it feels is most threatening. I think what I do here is I just double Protect and stall out. But then he could Calm Mind. If it goes to knock out my Empoleon, I'm fine with that. I'm going to try to get a Trick Room up here. I'm just pretending this is turn 1. I mean, I have low health. I think a Flare Blitz from Incineroar will likely knock out my Empoleon. It does go for a Fake Out, though, into my Empoleon slot. I'm fine with that. Tapu Fini does use Calm Mind, but I think this is a little greedy from my opponent because it's not putting on any pressure, and I am going to get the Trick Room up here, which means I'm going to feint the Incineroar 100% with my Empoleon, and I can switch out into my Snorlax here and probably pick up the knockout with the Self-Destruct or Wild Charge. So Incineroar might be running Protect here, but this is still just the right play, because if it does Protect, then I can get the Self-Destruct off next turn, and it's not. So I'm going to get the knockout on the Incineroar with my Empoleon. Empoleon putting in the work. Oh, and a crit that doesn't matter. And Tapu Fini Muddy Waters here. It might knock out Empoleon. I doubt it, but it's possible with the Calm Mind boost. No, I'm not even close. So I think my opponent's in a sticky situation here. I think I knock off Tapu Fini just to get rid of whatever it's holding, and I can just Wild Charge, honestly. I think it's probably better than Self-Destruct. I mean, it's a super effective move, and it probably comes out to similar calcs, but I can keep my Snorlax alive, and I don't unnecessarily need it to just go boom, especially because Tapu Fini could easily Protect here, and I'm locking myself into a move. Yeah, I'm really liking the way this Empoleon plays out. People just do not expect it. The Defiant is just such a useful ability right now, and I know a lot of people are like using Bisharps and things, which I think is really well positioned too, don't get me wrong. Maybe Bisharp's even better than Empoleon. It's just that Empoleon is more fun for me to use, and it counters directly with the typing versus Landorus and Incineroar. Wow, that did so much. And I get the knockoff. I don't think this will feint it. Oh, I think my opponent forfeits there. Let's hope. After all this, it said with the other trainer though, so it does pick up the kill on my Empoleon, but my opponent looks like he rage quit. So, you know, good game to my opponent. I don't know why you wouldn't just play it out there, but yeah, it didn't seem to be me losing here. So let's see. Well, these battles have been quick, so I'm just going to keep going. Get at least one more in here. Yeah, that kind of is a win. So we're climbing up the ladder. Tell me what you guys think of this team. I think it's really well positioned. I mean, the problem is maybe the higher the level players who have answers to Trick Room can really deal with it. But Ruben here from Texas, let's see, he's 1538, not terribly high, but he's backing a team of Tapu Fini, Gyarados, Mimikyu, Snorlax. Hey, we've seen that. Kangaskhan and Garchomp. Well, if he leads Mimikyu, Snorlax, and I lead Mimikyu, Empoleon, I have the edge, and it might come down to a speed time with the Ghost DMZ, which, you know, obviously I can outplay it with a Protect, and if he does lead Gyarados, I can get a nice boost, and it does put a lot of pressure on the Garchomp. Who do I want in the back? I think Amoonguss looks really good here. Yeah, Amoonguss looks great. Camerupt not so much. He's got a lot of offensive pressure. But does Snorlax do anything against this team? Huh. Kind of. I mean, Ice Punch covers Garchomp, Wild Charge covers Fini and Gyarados. And yeah, I think I'll bring Snorlax here as my fourth. Well, we'll see. This is an interesting team to play against. Basically, a pseudo mirror. I hope he leads the Snorlax, Mimikyu, or some Intimidator. This lead just covers so many things that are popular right now, and even things, I don't know, I just feel well prepared. I feel confident with the lead. My opponent sending out Snorlax and Mimikyu, exactly, okay. So, now it's the mind games. Does he Protect? Does he get Trick Room up, or does he go for Ghost DMZ? Does my Snorlax go Self-Destruct? So, it's unlikely I think it's unlikely to go self-destruct, but it probably carries high horsepower. And if that's the case, my opponent could high horsepower Trick Room, and that's most likely. I think the right play is to go for the somewhat risky speed time on the Mimikyu, and then I think switch out. Do I think it's going to use a ground move here? I think I'm going to protect here. And hope my opponent goes for... He withdraws Mimikyu. Very good play from my opponent into the Kangaskhan. Really well played there. I didn't consider it. I didn't consider the Kangaskhan immunity. So he gets me to use my Z move, which is exactly one of the weaknesses of the Z move being Ghost, is that I can have it fizzle like this. And Snorlax is a Belly Drum variant, so I definitely got played there. This is going to be very difficult. We've already seen that Belly Drum Snorlax is hard to deal with. And he does have access to Fake Out. The issue here is I do not have a good team for what he has currently on the field. I am really... I don't see how I get out of that. He just destroyed me that turn. I think I have to protect here, hoping that he doubles down into the Mimikyu slot. And knock off the Snorlax. It didn't proc its berry, which might mean that it's not Gluttony. Kangaskhan does go for Fake Out, but into the Mimikyu slot, and I get my knockoff here. Let's see what it's carrying. It was the berry, but it doesn't have Gluttony, and it goes for Crunch into my Empoleon. Interesting. It's going to do a lot of damage. But it does survive, which I'm pretty happy with. Now, I think I do go for Trick Room here and sacrifice my Empoleon, and maybe I'll just go for a Rock Slide, hoping that I can pick up some kind of flinch here. Kangaskhan does go Mega after it had its scrappy ability to hit my Mimikyu. Let's see what it decides to do. Snorlax uses Protect. That's fine. It'll probably, if it faints my Empoleon, I'm fine with that. Yeah, Drain Punch into my Empoleon, and I still have Disguise up with Mimikyu. So my best shot here is to bring in my Snorlax, and I get my Trick Room off, and hopefully win the Speed Tie, Self-Destruct, and knock both of them out. That's basically my only out. And I'm glad that the Amoonguss has some like hot horsepower in Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb. And honestly, with what my opponent has, I mean, if it brought Gyarados and Gyarados in the back, I'm going to have a hard time here. I think Kangaskhan might live, so I'm going to go for the Play Rough into the Kangaskhan and Self-Destruct here. This is really my only out. Oh, Kangaskhan comes out, actually, into Mimikyu. Okay, so it's calling the Self-Destruct here, but I had to go for this play. So I trade Snorlax for Snorlax, and he's up a Pokemon on me. But I do get the Play Rough up here, which is going to break the Mimikyu's Disguise. Yeah, and it hits. I get this Disguise break. Amoonguss is going to... so 100%... Kangaskhan comes in here again to Fake Out, stalling one turn of Trick Room. But we'll see on the Speed Tie if Kangaskhan does come out, which I expect, yeah, for Fake Out pressure. So I could, I mean, obviously protect on Amoonguss, but I don't think it's worth it, honestly. What I think is to Shadow Claw the Mimikyu and to Spore the Kangaskhan. If Kangaskhan wants to Fake Out my Mimikyu, like, or it can't, actually. I mean, if it wants to Fake Out Amoonguss, I'd rather save the Protect. Wow, that crit really sucks. And it has a Shadow Sneak. Very interesting. I don't know how much damage that's going to do. Oh, yeah, Disguise hasn't been popped. I forgot. I protected that turn with the Fake Out. So, yeah, Disguise is bunch. And then my Shadow Claw does go off here. Pretty good damage. So the question is, I think I protect here with my Mimikyu, and I Spore the Kangaskhan. expecting the Shadow Sneak, trying to get some damage off before. I mean, if my opponent reads into this, I could get pretty offensive play here. I do get my Spore off. I gotta preserve the Trick Room is the biggest issue here. I have no damage on this Kangaskhan. Let's see what Mimikyu went for. It's Z move. It's Fairy Z move. Very interesting from my opponent. I definitely got deceived by expecting this to be the same. And where's it coming into? Did it make it a read? It did, and it went to my Amoonguss. So my opponent, honestly, I don't think is making reads so much as is just playing unorthodox. Which is fine. It's going to get the knockout here. I can Giga Drain up on the Kangaskhan, just try to keep my health high. It does use Shadow Sneak here on my Mimikyu. No, onto the Amoonguss. It recognizes the threat in that, but I still would go for a different move if I were it. So my Giga Drain's not going to heal me that much. But Kangaskhan does wake up and does get its return off. That's going to probably be game for me here. Oh, yeah. Well, good game to my opponent. Definitely bringing a team that... I don't know. I should have... There's no way I could have predicted that. My opponent just had a weird way of playing, so I'll take it. I wonder if Kangaskhan has anything to hit my Mimikyu, though. Yeah, Gyarados has come out in the last Pokemon here. Gets its Intimidate off, which is basically going to seal up the game. Yeah, I just think my opponent honestly played the right way he needed to play, but he played poorly. I don't know. Sucker Punch on Kangaskhan. Wow. He is just running very unusual sets. I do get a Play Rough into the Gyarados. It's just going to use Waterfall and likely knock me out here. It does. So good game to my opponent. Yeah, I don't understand why you're running a Belly Drum Snorlax alongside the Mimikyu. I guess I understand it. Maybe it is carrying Self-Destruct and it just goes that, but it wasn't Gluttony. Like, I think that my opponent just looked up some commonly used Pokemon and just put a bunch of moves on it. And it's one of those level concepts, you know, where, like, level 0 is somebody who doesn't play. Level 1, somebody who understands the game fundamentally. Level 2, the person who's playing above the level of someone who just understands, basically. And then 3 and 4 just are reiterations of those patterns 1 and 2. And if you play at the one level above, you win. And if you play at 2 levels above, you lose. And I was playing at level 2 expecting my opponent, which is what most people do when they make reads. And unless you go up to the highest levels where everyone's like pseudo-mind gaming each other. Is he going to do this, or is he going to do what I least expect, or is it just what I expect because I don't expect it as much? But either way, my opponent probably played at a level 0, and I played at a level 2, which got me the loss. But that's good. I liked his team. It was interesting. Definitely interesting. But we'll take that, and we'll call that a wrap for today, and we'll get another recording here, and I will see you guys later.